Welcome to the house!
To the house of Holbein, yeah. Oh, yeah. The house of Holbein.
You know, the jesters in my court were never this mopey. What's got you so down? It's the first documentation of a noble giving a damn, and it's cutie Una. Truth really is stranger than fiction. It's disrupting my mood, that's all. Isn't that what spiral artists for? Or don't tell me that's a sore spot. I almost died. One of my first weeks here, I came this close. And she saved my life, so yes, I suppose it's a sore spot. What? Don't like it when things get personal? When you were hanging around the hamlets, did you ever run into the fellow with a capital A brand on his face? You mean that... yes. Why? Did you know he got himself killed recently? I didn't. Ever speak to him? No. Well, then he must have thought of you as one of the good ones. Other people around here didn't give him a chance. I tried to. It didn't work. I'm sorry to hear that. On week 29, Una and Kringle are sent out on a long expedition to explore a large portion of the ruins, once again accompanied by the Spiral Artist and Simon Quicker. The undead are still coming, even after slaying 2 necromancers, and so they want to find out why. I didn't realize it going in, but Kringle has the worries, which is one of the worst diseases in the entire game. It makes you take plus 30% stress, and enemies who deal stress also have a preference to target your most stressed hero, so it's even worse than it sounds. He's taking like 20 to 25 stress every time he's targeted by a stress-dealing move, and he's also being targeted by more stress-dealing moves. We're gonna RP this as he's still upset about Hidden Atrocity's death. Another great thing about this team is how massive all of their speed is. A random number from 1 to 8 plus a character's speed determines turn order, and their base stats already give us the massive advantage of always going first, even before having any speed buffs done. Anyway, here's Battle Ballad. Camping together a small distance into their long expedition, the group is already starting to get quite comfortable and familiar with each other. Spiral Artist is warming up to the odd but fun pair of Una and Kringle, having initially been more used to the rigid soldier sort like Norman Goodman. She sort of acts as the de facto leader of the group, and she's taken to the role quite well, responsibly making sure that the campfire is set up properly and checking the nearby pathways of the manor ruins to make sure the spot is safe. Kringle soothes her worrying mind, and they enjoy a large meal together, after Una reveals some extra food she stole on their way out of the hamlet. And here's your portion, Kringle. Thanks. Hey, is there anything else we can call you? Handsome. That's not what we mean. What do you mean then? Well, everyone around town just calls you Kringle. Haven't you got, I don't know, a real name? Ah, well, gee, I'd really have to think about it, Spiral Artist. Look, they call me Kringle because that's what my name is. And my name is Kringle because that's what they call me. Chris. My name around town is Kringle. But if it's just used around, then I guess you could call me Chris instead. If you like. I don't want them to scrub my tombstone with a fake name, so...
What about you, Spiral Artist?
It's a lot of syllables to work with.
Well, I don't have a name.
What?
I've only ever had Spiral Artist. That's the only thing they'd ever call me. Well, it's lucky you've got us three to remedy that dark past of yours. It sounds like you could use a hand. Well, you and Goodman came up from the south coast, right? How about South Sea Harriet? That's longer. We could just call her Harriet.
What about Sam?
Sam?
Sam. Spiral Artist's moniker. You know, S-A-M, Sam.
I'm just gonna call her Spiral. Me too. Yeah, that'd probably be best. Thanks for trying, though, Simon.
Yeah.
They sat down for rest, collectively pleased with the company. The next day, as they walk through the ruins, Kringle and Cutie Una spend the time chatting and getting to know each other, while Spiral Artist and Simon Quicker keep a keen eye out the front.
Hey, Una. Una.
Oh, yes?
Trap. Disarm this.
Right. No group of people works together better than a group of people that all like each other. And the other fights are filled with big heals, massive crits, and excellent teamwork. Spiral Artist is getting used to holding the front with Una, and over the past short time has gained a newfound respect for what she thought was just a lost, clingy girl before. Una has proven herself surprisingly competent. We're also getting so many big heals off of Simon Quicker, who, by the way, has the off-guard quirk, which his last name is Quicker. I think that's funny. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Cutie Una tells a bad joke, which nobody likes, and in the next fight, I'm trying to de-stress Kringle a bit with Inspiring Tune, even though it's not that upgraded, just so he can have a bit less stress when they go back to the hamlet. It's going pretty alright, and till he gets crits by an ability that already causes stress. Okay, he's gonna get afflicted, that's fine. Oh no, he's not! He gets focused. In this moment, he overcomes his regret and mourning, and refuses to let anybody else die under his watch. Occasionally, when a hero reaches 100 stress, they will gain a virtue instead of an affliction. These have several different benefits. For example, right here, when he notices a weakness in the enemy's armor, and gives Una a 95% damage increase for her next attack. Or right here, when he gives Simon Quicker 3 speed. Or here, when he gives Simon Quicker 10 accuracy and 10 crit. Or here, when he does the same for Cutie Una. Kringle's good mood and positive attitude is back. Beware anybody in his way. They return with much more of the ruins mapped out, if not with an answer of how the undead continue to be a problem, and with a permanent bond forged in those several days shared in the manor's ruins. They enjoy a drink together. Andrea Singh is in the level bracket above, so on week 30, Jasper, Nicky Jackson, and Oddbottler depart for their own long mapping journey of the ruins, in the company of Cora, to continue the search for whatever's bringing the undead still. I'm hoping that the combination of Nicky Jackson's light healing ability, Oddbottler's light healing ability, and Cora's super light healing ability will make up for the lack of a dedicated healer in this team. And to be fair, Andrea Singh's only sort of a dedicated healer anyway. She kicks a lot of ass. I'm also factoring in Nicky Jackson's camp healing skills, which are awesome because it's a long quest with 2 camps. Basically, things should be fine. I'm gonna bring extra food anyway, just to be safe. But it's a lower level mission. It won't be much of a problem. It's gonna be fine.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
You're good at that.
Yeah, lots of experience, love. As is standard, Nicky Jackson and Jasper are tearing it up! Wow, that was bad. Actually used that take. As is standard, Nicky Jackson and Jasper are tearing it up. For some reason, Oddbottler's getting targeted a lot, so lots of healing coming in from Nicky Jackson to remedy that. I don't think they like you, love.
Irrelevant.
And on top of all of that, Cora is once again carrying her weight to a surprising degree. I think I always underestimate antiquarians and what they can actually do, because they are far from useless. They camp even though they don't need it, just to clear inventory space and make sure that they continue to not need it. Oddbottler's a bit disappointed that nobody's hurt because she was looking forward to tending them with Nikki, but the time before their rest is instead spent with Jasper and Nikki Jackson discussing battle plans and preparing their weapons, which bores Oddbottler a fair bit. Not much else of importance happens, and soon enough they find themselves deep within the ruins, and much richer thanks to Cora. There, to their surprise, following the mad and incomprehensible ramblings they hear, they eventually stop and sight the prophet off in the distance, wandering the ruins. Perhaps he'll have answers as to what is continuing to raise the undead. How he survived having his head lopped off is unclear, but not all that surprising, given the nature of this place and the abundance of daggers porcupining his back even before. The party grips their weapons a bit tighter. They're ready to take him on. During this long journey, they've all leveled up to veteran, which... Oh, not Oddbottler. Oh, she's so close. Okay. Week 31 didn't happen. It was a dream that Oddbottler had while camping and preparing to hunt down the prophet. Oddbottler and Nikki Jackson, here's what's happening. Oddbottler and Nikki Jackson are camping together right now in the ruins to keep an eye on the prophet's path and not lose him. And Jasper and Cora ran back to the hamlet to drop off their supplies, pick up Andrea Singh, and bring back fresh supplies and stuff. And Oddbottler got tired and she had a nap, and this is what she dreamed about. She dreamed about recovering relics in the ruins with Pollock, a shield breaker named Hopscotch that she's seen around camp a few times but never talked to, and Cora, because that's the last thing they talked about before she fell asleep, with getting Cora back to the hamlet, so it was on her mind. Here's how it went. She also camps and does actual healing in the dream because she's mad she didn't get to in real life. Alright, it's still week 31 since that dream didn't happen, but let's call it week 32 just for fun. While Oddbottler slept, Nikki Jackson kept an eye on the prophet, watching as he stalked the ruins, taking note of his movements, his slight limp on his left side, and his other habits, cleaning her gun as she does so in preparation. Nikki Jackson gently shakes Oddbottler awake when Jasper returns with Andrea Singh, each carrying packs fully restocked with supplies. They get up, dash out the campfire, then head out together to corner the seemingly immortal prophet and seek answers.
Annihilated.
Oh, I got one of the boxes! Cool. I like this trinket.
The mad prophet down on his luck.
Nikki Jackson opens the fight, shooting like the professional she is. Having seen the way he battled against the cultists in the ruins during Oddbottler's nap, she helps her team avoid his blighting spittle. The way the prophet basically works is get you to death's door with the heavy damage of his rubble, and then finish you off with his blight, which targets your whole party and applies a dot effect. Dot is damage over time, by the way. You probably know that. In short time, he succumbs to the power of this team. They don't have a name. Team 4. They press him for what's going on, and where they can find answers. They return to the hamlet, and immediately set out the very next week to the cove, to investigate the prophet's lead. Again, that's zero stress, basically. It's too easy. This guy, I love him. They scour the cove, cutting through the eldritch abominations with ease and haste. Andrea Singh is constantly proving why frontline Vestals are bestals. Yes! 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 Jasper just got the mankind hater quirk. Yes! They recover all the relics and prepare to head back to the hamlet, but not before they're interrupted by the Collector! They fucking eat him. They're dodging everything, he keeps getting healed, and it doesn't even matter. Goodbye. They return home, concluding a rapid-fire series of weeks. Odd Butler is very eager to study the damned relics, and attempt to piece together what they may have been once.
Well, any new discoveries yet?
Working.
Good, good. Anything I can do to help? Would go faster if I had more relics to compare. Well, we've been getting reports of increased grouping in the Warrens. Perhaps an expedition's in order. Can study alone. We'll investigate? Will. Have field team now. They will accompany. They are good? They are good. What is Doctor? We'll introduce later.
Very good. Look forward to it. Good hunting. Or at least that's what I nearly did. They're all so low stress that I almost take them out on another long quest, but I want to reinforce Mankind Hater on Jasper, and he's almost leveled up. It'll cost 2,000 extra gold to do it after he levels up. Things are cheaper to lock in when they're lower level. So for that reason, I kind of want to lock it in before I send them on another quest, but I almost do it. I nearly do it, and then I do it. Let's go. I'm actually having so much fun with this group. Like, I'm having more fun than the other one with the Houndmaster and the Occultist. I can splurge 2k more gold if it means I get to play them again right now. Let's go, week 34. They're slamming in all the combats, there are new enemies, and it doesn't matter, and there's just tons of crits, tons of high damage. It's a great time.
You have a collect call from.
From this point on, enemy stealth will start being more of a thing. Stealthed enemies can't be targeted unless by an attack that targets multiple slots, and one of the slots is not stealthed. They can be pretty annoying, but it usually only lasts for 2 of their turns, so it's not the end of the world if you don't have a de-stealthing move on your team. I would say it's pretty much worth having a hero who can de-stealth on your team whenever possible at this higher level, though. And Andrea Singh's ability that I never use is gonna get swapped out for a de-stealth one. And then they head back to the hamlet, all now champion level. Odd Butler returns to her studies with some fresh cut samples from some of the corrupted entities surrounding the manor, but unfortunately without any new relics for their study.
Discovered? No luck. We'll keep studying.
Nikki Jackson, Andrea Singh, and Jasper don't really know any way to help out, but they play their card games and drink their liquor in the same vicinity that Odd Butler works in a show of support for their friend. On week 35, Split Six takes Barry, Rownan, and Praxia Snow to continue the search in the Warrens. They're aiming to investigate and bring back pieces of some of the animalistic shrines the swine men have set up, to see if they're linked to the old relics that are being studied at all. I was going to take out Kringle's team again, but I forgot to fix his plus 30% stress disease, so they'll go out later. Split Six is, as ever, an absolute terror in combat, and Praxia Snow lives up to herself as well. The Shambler. The Shambler is another mini-boss, similar to the Collector, but a lot more scary. As its name implies, it shuffles the order of your team around fairly often. And this is a pretty bad setup to fight the Shambler with, considering how much musketeers rely on being in position. It can summon spores, which do a fairly weak attack to begin with, but every turn they're alive for, they increase their damage and their prot to insanely high degrees. And unlike other bosses, killing the main guy does not automatically kill the lackeys here. Leaving the spores to the end and letting them power up all the way is a death sentence. Even though this team isn't the best for it, I'm confident in their ability, and they were in a pretty good state going into it. They kill the Shambler with a little bit of difficulty, but aren't too much worse for wear. And for their troubles, they get an Ancestor's Tentacle Idol, a relic of the Manor's predecessor, in a single piece, undamaged by brackish tides or poor treatment. Sally Grimm and Oddbottler are going to get a lot of good information out of this. They continue along the quest, quite happy with the haul they'll be bringing back.
Confident. Mortality clarified in a single strike. Dazed, reeling, about to break. Another life wasted in the pursuit of glory.
I want you to understand something about that, because that was a totally unfair death, and I'm actually legitimately mad about it. Sometimes in this game, you just get unlucky. That was totally unfair. I mean, look at this, look at this. This is the state they were in right before the enemies got 3 turns in a row. Crit, crit, death blow. Are you telling me that's someone who's about to die on 22 health? Dodge 29 doesn't even matter. This speed 8 arsehole who deathblowed them with a 2 damage attack, if he had gone before either of these 2 speed 4 arseholes, split 6 would just be on death's door, worst case scenario. And if either of these 2 had a turn in between, split 6 would have been healed and, worst case scenario, be on death's door. Speed 6 and 7, by the way, both went after the speed 4 guys. They instantly failed the first 67% success rate death's door check. This is the first death's door check we've had the entire run, by the way. People have gotten to death's door before, but no one's ever been hit on death's door until now from that 2 damage stress dealing attack. It's a stress dealing attack, not a damaging attack. And you know what? If I'd have brought my team of Kringle and Spiral Artist and Cutie Una and Simon Quicker, which I intended to do, this wouldn't have happened. Because the Shambler fight would have been a total breeze. That team is made to be shuffled, but... you know what? This is good. This is a good thing. I'm really sad and I'm really angry because I really liked Split 6. But it's good. Because some of you might want to be playing this game sometime soon who haven't played it. And I can't recommend it enough. This is legitimately my favorite game ever. But this is just something you have to be prepared for. No matter how good you are or how flawless your strategy, sometimes luck in this game can just screw you. And I know what you're thinking, alright? Oh, that's a bit arrogant, isn't it? He thinks he's so good. Flawless strategies, yeah right. Well, screw you. I'm gonna prove it, watch. I'm beating this mission with just these last 3 guys. All out of position because the guy at the front died, not the guy at the back. No main damage dealer left. Screw you, I'm doing it. There. See that? Actual unfair death, not my fault. The speed screwed me, double crits, the turn order screwed me. Hidden Atrocity was my fault. This one wasn't. I had this in the bag. Screw you, screw this. I'm taking this idol back to my plague doctors. Anybody have anything they'd like to see?
We didn't even know their name. What are we supposed to say?
They were the toughest bastard I'd ever met. That stupid tentacle idol had better have been worth it. If it doesn't get us anywhere, then little Miss Oddbottler had better hope she's a fast runner.
Hey, I need to get a drink. You joining me?
Is this what awaits us all? For what? For what? Hey, yeah? Mind if I come up? Sure. Hey, Chris. What's up? Sure was a nice funeral. Yeah, I'm a bit shaken too. You know, Split Six and I actually had our first expeditions together. Barry and Rownan took us into the Warrens. It was the only time I did much of anything with them, but... Well, want me to put you in a better mood? Naomi already said we couldn't have any of the communion wine. She won't let us have it this time. Not that. Here, come on. Come on. I found a spot that's perfect for skipping rocks into the sea. I want to see how many bounces you can get.
On week 36, while the doctors continue studying the idol for any clues as to how to defeat the evil inhabiting the estate, a group of newcomers venture to the cove, all on their first expedition. Hopscotch, who Odd Bottler dreamed went out on an expedition, but this is her first real one, a Vestal named Lady Rosiette, a grave robber named Amelia Banks, and that Hellion named Dominique, who's been here for almost the entire game. Hellions are really cool, and so are lepers, and I haven't had much of an opportunity to show you either one yet. Whatever you get and upgrade right at the start of the game sort of dictates what you'll have for the middle of the game for the most part, and I've been keeping an eye out for an upgraded Hellion or Leper to arrive on the coach, but neither's happened yet. I'll see about explaining what the Hellion does later, though, with one that's better upgraded and in a more suited team composition. If an opportunity doesn't come up, though, then that's something you can just figure out for yourself if you want to play the game. She's one of my absolute favourites, though. The quest goes well, and that's all we need to say, because none of these people are names you need to remember. Don't worry trying to commit them to memory. Back at the hamlet, Praxia Snows had a particularly bad week of drinking in morning of Split Six. Off the end of her bender, though, she came to her senses, and realized that there are better ways to honor her fallen friend. She's sworn off liquor, and is determined to preserve Split Six's memory by continuing the work that they did best. She walks through the hamlet streets determinedly. Kringle! On me. Where are they going? Hunting. I'll get Rownan. You find Pollock and meet me at the entrance to the Warrens in 15 minutes. I heard there was a new pig in command down here. Big. Followed his trail, found him, watched him for a bit. I know how to kill him. We're going to kill him. Questions? Good. Let's march. Praxia Snow fights like hell. We're not even yet, swine. Good work, everyone. We're doing them proud. On week 38, Lady Rosiette, Amelia Banks, Hopscotch, and a new grave robber named Ibracia
head to the cove to deal with the undead crew. This is the last of the core bosses we haven't seen at least one version of yet. It's pretty standard, it has damage-dealing moves and stress-dealing moves, but its special mechanic is its anchor that it can put on one of your teammates. While the anchor's up, the boss heals after every action, not round, action. They kill it with ease. And I still have, like, no healing trinkets. Life sucks.